Metro!
Hey, you went flying Bentley Spur. Hey, you went driving around the world. Hey, you went brown like a squirrel. Hey, you went Chanel pearls. Hey, you went Rolls Royce car. Hey, you went Rolls Royce truck. Oh, you want wall with all my hoes. Oh, you want to line it all up. Hey, I'm gonna play it how it is. Hey, I've been playing for some years. Hey, you trying to steal all the spill. Hey, I'm in the field on the pill. Hey, you want to spill and let's spill. Hey, you know how real niggas is. Rolls Royce still Uncle Phil. Yeah. Yo, look. Sis guy, he a visionary. I'm the definition like the dictionary. Baby, turn around, forget the missionary. If they pull up on me with some bad intentions, you go read about it in obituary. I got more soldiers in the military. I got more stones in a cemetery. I have more strings than y'all in February. It's getting hard to put a price on a show. Can't even pick an amount now. If a nigga really try to jam me, get jammed first like the countdown. I thank God for that flight straight from the 9 side going southbound. They say that life's about balance, baby, and the balance is in my account now. Okay, she got a perkin' and perk. I got her twerking in Turks. She probably let both of us hit. The way that she smirking at dirt. She getting cake on the picture she take. I say, girl, if it worked, then it worked. Fuck a wedding dress. I'm trying to murk it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 110 of the Splashcast, the Around the League edition, Monday Night Raw. I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined. We are your HBCU homeboys. We are sipping and tripping tonight. We are enjoying ourselves
and water
as we celebrate the other Independence Day, not to be confused with the America's most important Independence Day, which is Juneteenth. Oh, wait. Now we've been podcasting for a long time. We forgot about Juneteenth ice cream.
We didn't buy the Juneteenth ice cream. Hey, man, y'all dropped the ball, Walmart, and all the people that y'all should definitely drop back Juneteenth ice cream. That shit was red velvet, too. That's terrible.
That also proves that black
52.
people can only have things one time. That's like when we had them squares and everybody was like, hey, blackout on Instagram, and then they never did it again. There's never like an annual anything. It's always that one moment. And then we never go backwards and remember any of these things ever again. Hey, Walmart, bring back Juneteenth ice cream.
Joe Biden said Juneteenth was a holiday. They had Juneteenth ice cream. They had red, black, and green napkin packs on sale at Walmart. And cup packs, red, black, and green cup packs.
Please check the chat because I'm about to say something I almost said on the podcast, and I can't.
Y'all know what it is when it comes to this. Hey, you never introduced yourself. I'm your co-host, Reggie. You never said who you are. Oh, you said I am with the powers are combined. Yeah.
And for any, okay, let's be real, bro. It's the Splashcast. If you're a first-time listener, shout out to you. If you rocking with us and you've been rocking with us, thank you so much. We truly appreciate that. Reggie, can you please see my ice cream flavor that I've added in the chat? Yes.
And that's what it is too, because that's made strictly for us. Neapolitan. And you can substitute neo for another word.
The old people will call it Negropolitan ice cream.
Negropolitan. That's that colored ice cream. Oh, Lord, let me get out of there. With that being said, and that's sad, we talking like this as we go into the HBCU segment. Listen, that was not our intention. But y'all know what it is. We start out with the HBCU news around the culture. Matt Olson just hit another. Nope. Warning track. We do HBCU news around the culture where we talk about news dealing with our HBCUs. Of course, y'all know no affirmative action. Before we start, I'm gonna ask you that. Let's get a little political. We'll tie it into sports some kind of way.
What? We have a list of things to talk about. Reggie says, "Let's get political." Go ahead.
Let's start. We'll get to all the greatness. So, I told y'all. I said y'all at the cookout, I said, this is going to be a fun podcast because I done got a little inspiration. The Supreme Court has basically eliminated affirmative action. And I've seen many posts say HBCUs going up, enrollment should go up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the part or the post that I like the best was, if they don't want our scholars, don't send them our athletes. That was a really interesting post. How you feel about this? And do you think HBCUs will benefit from the removal of the affirmative action?
So I definitely saw that. I actually saw somewhere like a political cartoon where they talked about how, they basically were like, hey, we don't want you guys, but they still wanted the athletes, which is an excellent point. I get it. I want it to be a certain way, but I also understand logistics, money, funding, etc. So I don't think that it affects the sports teams nearly as much. But I do think that if you're not on a sports team, they've basically told you they don't want you there. I think that I think that this should be a moment in the sun for HBCUs. One of the things that I talk about HBCUs more than anything else is the fact that if go to school with a person who is invested in you graduating, go to a place where a school is investing in loving you and caring about you, beginning, middle, and end. I've had multiple friends, family members that go to PWIs, and if you're not an athlete, they don't care. And if you're not, and when I say not an athlete, if you're not either a legendary athlete or an active athlete, they don't care. They just don't. And I've had the ability to graduate from HBCU and then have multiple friends who graduated from HBCUs across the country. Those schools love them unconditionally. That should mean something when you're getting an education, because it's not what you learn, it's how you learn and who you learn it from. I think that is, immensely valuable. I think that if you're looking at going to college right now, or you have a kid, niece, nephew, you should sit down and talk to them about what this means from a PWI standpoint and what this means from an HBCU standpoint, and as a minority, what that means to you. And then from there, make the best decision for you.
So yeah, you said all that. I'm gonna say, first off, I need people to understand what affirmative action really did. Affirmative action didn't allow unqualified minorities into prestigious PWIs. It made sure that the qualified were given a fair shake to attend the school. Because we all know, as the article that came out about somebody getting sued at an Ivy League school because they got in because of their parents being there and weren't necessarily qualified to get into school. We all know that money talks. So if you have a bunch of alumni who are invested into their underachieving child, and I'm not going to say underachieving, but just didn't meet the qualifications to get into the school, but somebody can pay for it, you don't want to let that run rampant when there's other people who are qualified that may not have that stream of income that the person has. That allows for more of what you know versus who you know to prosper. Now it's basically who you know. It's basically you do anything you want to do. So,
and the part that more frustrates me than anything is people are scamming. We're not that far removed from the USC school admission scandal. And this is rich people basically putting people into school. So you're not even giving people a fair shake. And then you're going to say, now we're going to uneven the playing field even more. Well, at that point, respectfully, but fuck you. I'm going to take me and my money somewhere else where you can respect me. I'm big on consumerism. My money goes where you will respect me and I get good customer service. If you can't do that, then you don't want my money, and that's fine. That's more than fine. But you won't get it from me. You can go to hell first.
Well, it was just something that was on my mind. I'm interested for all y'all that are watching, that are able to watch, man. Let us know what you feel about it. Those that went to PWIs and those that went to HBCUs, man. I do look for HBCUs to prosper, and I hope that we can all start giving back and get a jolt and kind of work together. Speaking of working together to be a jolt to a school, Donald Driver, Alcorn State football legend, played for the Green Bay Packers for years, is going to partner with Delaware State. Driven Elite, led by Driver, will be available to all 19 men's and women's collegiate sports as they bring sports-specific performance program. So basically, they're going to train all of the athletes there using sports science as well as the latest techniques to improve at Delaware State. This is the first venture of many that Donald Driver hopes to be a part of.
I like this for a couple reasons. Number one, if you look at Donald Driver, he has been in physical peak shape his entire life. So this is the guy to learn from, listen to, and grow from. Also, I like that this is afforded to all sports athletes. This is not exclusive to basketball or football. We talk about, already across the board, even at PWIs, some of these other sports just don't make enough money, so they don't get the love that they deserve. Well, HBCUs are going to be affected even more. So this is an opportunity where across the board, whatever sport you play, you can get an opportunity to get the absolute best training. And this is just HBCU alums helping out HBCUs. This is about, we have to do more of taking care of our own and growing ourselves. And then, we all have the aspiration of one day where all the best athletes go to HBCUs instead of PWIs because they just don't care. But right now, we don't have things like this. You don't have the facilities. You don't have the training. Shout out to Donald Driver taking the lead with this and partnering with Delaware State. This is excellent. Well, and Alcorn, what are y'all doing?
For me, this is not necessary. Is the saying is putting your money where your mouth is, but it's stepping up and moving forward, right? We always talk about how HBCUs, it's hard for them to compete with PWIs, as you just said, facilities, nutrition, and everything like that. HBCUs normally get money and they improve the weight room or whatever. But this looks at performance on a scientific level. So not only do they do strength and conditioning, they also do, from what we read right here, it's an all-inclusive nutrition, mental health, wellness, and meal plan, and focus on a whole student athlete for those that make it to pros and those that don't, to help them adjust into regular society. That is something that you don't hear at any other school, PWI or not.
Never heard that.
That is a great initiative, and it's a great angle, honestly. And if you can develop this program and incorporate it into other schools, now all of a sudden HBCUs offer something that PWIs are. Well, again, I was going to say PWIs steal, but I mean they steal everything, including us. But PWIs steal, so I don't care. I told you, inspiration. But shout out to Donald Driver, Alcorn State, man. Y'all got to get on it.
And I really support this because if you had any friends who were on any number of a sports team and then weren't, there's a transition there. As a sports, like as an athlete in college, your entire life is scheduled. Mm-hmm. There isn't a lot of free time. There isn't a lot of interaction with everybody else that goes to the same very school that you go to. And then to have to go from, hey, this is where I am 100% of the time. Everything for me is planned out to, hey, I'm no longer a student athlete. I'm just a student. Yeah, that's a culture shock. I know that it's kind of tough to believe or understand, but without a doubt, you're in a whole different situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not if you went to school or if you've been in any type of structure where your day is planned for you, and then basically to go to where you have to plan your own day, it's like going from high school to freshman year. Like, and you don't play sports anymore. You have to figure out and manage your own time, your own money, your own wealth, your own health, your own nutrition when it's been done for you now. And I live in Georgia, you live in Texas. Like, football and sports is real in high school. At this point, high school sports is basically the same thing as college sports. Like, they have nutritionists, they have all of the same thing. So everything is scheduled.
And I didn't even think about it. It's got to be even more intense now with the NIL, where you basically like lose a job to a certain degree. So I can only imagine what that feels like and what that takes now is probably exponentially more difficult than it was even when we were going to school. But shout out to Donald Driver. Shout out to Delaware State. Alcorn, you on the clock.
On the clock, man. Hey, speaking of they don't want us, there's always a story about every, I'm going to say, major accomplishment or contribution to society, sports, entertainment, science, or otherwise. But black people have done a lot in this country that has been stolen. I ain't going to say they stole hockey. They stole hockey. But there's stories of us that moved up north and started the black hockey in Canada after we left slavery. But we won't get into that. Shout out to Tennessee State. We talked about Fisk starting their gymnastics team. We talked about Hampton and starting lacrosse, Howard doing rugby. We talked about all these schools stepping into lanes that aren't normally for HBCUs, just didn't have the capacity. Tennessee State is keeping the same thing going. They are doing, they have decided to start a Tennessee State hockey team coming in 2024. That is huge. Shout out to Tennessee State and the Ohio Valley Conference. I didn't know they had hockey in Ohio Valley Conference. Didn't even know they had that.
So what this is actually a strategic partnership with the Nashville Predators. Mm-hmm. And that's where this stems from. I think this is excellent. I think that all of these hockey teams, specifically in the South, where the majority of the HBCUs are located, I think it's an opportunity for all of them. You know, you got, what's that? The Florida Panthers. In Florida, we hope to have a hockey team in Atlanta. Looks like pretty soon, considering they spent $1 trillion building that thing. But there just are opportunities for these out there. Wayne State, you got the Detroit Red Wings. Like there are multiple places
Central
where
State,
you can go.
All them places.
And this can happen. Shout out to Tennessee State for being innovative and having the wherewithal to figure this partnership out. I hope this is the beginning of many more of these. We want to push these things out there. If you go to Tennessee State, support. Hey, and let me tell you, Tennessee State, let me tell you where you can go ahead and get right to the front of this. Sell these damn jerseys. Sell these Tennessee State hockey jerseys. We are your HBCU consultants, but we want to make it very clear on how you can get to where you're trying to get to. If you sell this jersey, I will buy it.
Hey,
I'm not playing with you. I'm not joking with you. Sell it. Sell it. Just get it to where we can get it.
And listen, and also all of the HBCUs that started these uncommon sports for HBCUs to start. I want the Hampton lacrosse. I want the Howard rugby. I want the Tennessee State hockey. I want the Howard swim. I want the Hampton polo. I want all of the non-traditional sports for HBCUs, so I can wear it out and be like, yeah, we told y'all like Martin. This is what we are.
And I will say, like, going to an HBCU, a lot of us are from the suburbs. We like this type of stuff. I am a big hockey fan. My team is the Tampa Bay Lightning. You think that there is in any world where I'm not supporting Tennessee State hockey, you crazy as hell. Just give, right? You know the drink is cooking when you stop and look at it with respect. Reggie said, you doing your thing. But just make these things available. Now that you said that, I'm going to go back. I got a couple people to ask about a lacrosse jersey for Hampton. You're right. We have to, and that's the easiest way, merch. That's the easiest way to get your money up quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Sell it in the
we will
bookstore,
buy this type of stuff because it's obscure. You don't know how long you're going to get it. It's a conversation piece. All of these are reasons that people, and we would buy it just so I can say I got it. I don't know how long the shit going to exist. Let me get one.
Yeah. So let us know, man. Shout out to everybody. Hey, football season is coming up.
Send us one. If y'all got one, I mean, you know what? No.
We'll buy it.
Make it for sale. I don't want it for free. I would like to support you by spending my money with you guys. So just make it available.
Yep. Hey, we talked about in Baton Rouge, the showdown September 9th. It's already looking like I'm going to be there. For Southern versus Jackson State. You will also, and if you don't know about HBCU football, there are a few games that you should go to. FAMU Bethune-Cookman is a hell of a game to go to. The Bayou Classic, Southern versus Grambling, is a hell of a game to go to. September 9th, you need to just be in Southern Louisiana. It is going to be Southern versus Jackson State and Grambling versus LSU. We talked about that earlier. Another showdown that is happening right around the same time. And if you're from Alabama, shout out to people from Alabama, especially black folks from Alabama. You know about Alabama A&M, Alabama State, and Tuskegee, affectionately known as Skeegee. What you don't remember is Alabama A&M, Alabama State, and Tuskegee used to all play against each other before people started going to different divisions, CIAA, MEAC, SWAC, SIAC, etc. They all used to play each other. Rivalry renewed. Alabama A&M and Tuskegee are playing each other. And quietly as kept, Tuskegee has been the better football program over those years when they stopped playing each other. This is going to be a hell of a game. Hell of a game. I might be there too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And also, I ain't going to let you not say Hampton Howard. Hampton Howard is
Hampton Howard's tough.
Hampton Howard, and also Hampton playing in Meadowlands this year. For all you East Coast people, definitely go out and see that one. They'll be playing in New York, so definitely go support them. But yeah, this is another one. All these state rivalries need to be reinforced, specifically as people leave and go to different conferences. That's kind of outside of your control. But what you can control is scheduling. When your non-conference games, you need to schedule rivalry games. That's all we ask.
Yeah, got to keep the rivalry games. You can. I mean, you got to get your money games right. That's just the world we're in for now.
It's life.
For now, but go ahead and keep those rivalry games on. This is going to be a big turnout. May not be as big as Alabama State, Alabama A&M, or Prairie View, Texas Southern, but this is going to be a big game. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. Hey, man, shout out to Jackson State's Omar Johnson, Alabama State's Jose Vasquez, and Bethune-Cookman's Jonathan Hernandez for being selected to serve as members of Team USA baseball coaching staff. Shout out to them, man. They are making a big contribution to HBCU baseball. If you know anything about baseball, you know that Bethune-Cookman and FAMU normally are at the top of HBCU baseball, but Jackson State, as well as Alabama State, and not pictured on here, Southern University, all of them are really good at baseball.
I was about to say Southern got some heat too.
Yeah.
So if y'all follow the page, this was posted earlier this week. If you don't follow the Splashcast Instagram, this would be a perfect time to like, follow, and subscribe. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, in closing.
Oh yeah. This is pretty dope, man. This is pretty dope. In closing, Meharry finishing with brand new 156 square foot residential facility. Fisk launches first HBCU in gymnastics. Tennessee State first HBCU hockey team, and lots of other things happening in Tennessee over there on Jefferson Street. Man, they're making big moves in the state of Tennessee. HBCUs are investing.
Yes, this is our passion. This is what we truly care about. We want to see the uplift of HBCUs. We want to see the reinvestment in HBCUs. We want to see the growth of HBCUs. And this is that coming to fruition. Housing means more students. HBCU gymnastics is mind-blowing. I mean, gymnastics and hockey. Let us not, we're more than football and basketball. And if you get lucky, baseball. Right. Let us show you the full spectrum of who we are and what we can be. Yeah.
Man, this is pretty dope. This is pretty dope, man.
More of this.
I know Hampton has a strong golf team.
Money.
Yep, Hampton has a strong golf team. So, like I said, hey, man, I'll take a Fisk Gymnastics jersey. Maybe not the uniform. But, give me I support Fisk Gymnastics shirt.
No, put that on.
No, I'm not putting on the leotard, brother. There's not enough inspiration in the world for me to put that on, brother. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the HBCU segment of episode 110 of the Splashcast. 110 of the Splashcast, Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition.
We're
coming back with our hoops, man.
That'd be dope.
Coming back with the hoops. Hey, it is NFL free agency going on, and a lot of other WNBA free agency as well. What I say, NFL, NBA free agency as well.
I was about to say there. Let me go ahead and get to the end before we get there. There's nothing to talk about with football. There's nothing happening with football. The one thing that we had to talk about football, I have already rescheduled for next week because it is completely inconsequential. There's nothing going on with football. And if you know something going on with football, please reach out to us because that means that you're an insider. And let us know so we can report on it as soon as possible.
Yeah, only thing we wait. Okay, we'll do that now. Our football segment. Where would DeAndre Hopkins sign? Where would Dalvin Cook sign? Nobody knows. Break. We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned. Basketball in a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our basketball segment of episode 110 of the Splashcast, Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Man, the little Uzi went crazy right there for a little second.
Yes, sir. That's on my. I'm in the process of creating this very specific playlist. I am a music person, and people always tell me about these people who cannot rap because they don't listen to a lot of music. Little Uzi, and that verse is in there. Lil Uzi is rapping his ass off there if you listen very closely, and he addresses all the rumors about his sexuality right there in the beginning.
Kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. All he said was, I fucked 8 bitches. That's all he said. He ain't never said he ain't never, you know what I mean?
Well, let's get on out of there. That's why we mind our own business. Do what you want to.
Really, nobody's business. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know how we roll. Whatever you like to do, that's your business. That's your business, Shotty. Let's get to some basketball.
Does not kink shame.
We do not kink shame. Oh, that's another shirt. Splashcast, no kink shaming. Yes, sir. Don't steal it. Cookout. Don't steal that. We talk. So, man, let me hold on. Let me put this disclaimer out here. It is summer. It is July. There is nothing worth talking about. We talk about the same thing for the last 10, 12 days. You know how you know it's nothing we talking about? We are speculating if high school graduate Bronny James will be
never played a college basketball game.
Just graduated last month. Will he go to the Hawks? He's projected to go to the Hawks at number 17. First off, before we even get there, DeJuan Wagner, son.
Junior.
is about to go.
Carlos Boozer's son somewhere in there too.
Carlos Boozer's son. Nah, they're not.
Or they're next year.
They're the year after that. They are the number 1 players in the nation. Both of them, number 1 and number 2. It's twin boys.
Oh, ain't it Peja Stojakovic's son in there too somewhere?
Yep.
I want to go ahead and say this. Number one, Bronny James is never going to make it to 17. Let's be very real about that.
Nope.
And if they think we picking 17, they think I guess they expect us to pick 13 too, so we don't have that great of a season.
We got 2 picks. Ironically, we got 2 picks in the 2024 draft. I didn't see that coming at all.
Can you go back one? No, go back to the draft. Let me tell you teams who are not passing on LeBron James. Charlotte. OKC, leave him alone. Utah, leave him alone. Spurs, leave him alone. The Magic. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I have the 8th pick and Bronny James is there, I'm picking Bronny James specifically because LeBron said he would never come to Orlando.
Braves win.
And I like to see him and Banchero play together. I think that might be interesting. But yeah, you're not making it to 13 nor 17. And the Knicks. You think the Knicks will let LeBron James, like, no matter what happens, if the Knicks are taking him at 16 just for the retirement, because this is the part that I don't think that people consider. This will be LeBron's swan song. This means that you will get all the tape of his last dance, his last attempt at a title, the time that he gets to share with his son, who he's been waiting for his entire life. You can get that out of your mind. This is going to be a spectacle. You're probably going to have to reach for Bronny James. The jury is out on how good or not good he will be, but the money alone, the financial injection into your team, he's not making it to 17. Just never going to happen. You get that out of your mind.
You got to look at it as also, and LeBron has not been shy And LeBron, of course, saw this and said, "Well, ATL, shot exchange, James gang, we'll be pulling up." LeBron has not been shy about saying he wants to play with his son on the same team as his son. People are saying if this happens, we need to go ahead and trade for LeBron. And I'm like, yo, I know everybody's saying LeBron is better than 90% of the league. I'm not trading for 40-year-old LeBron. He can come here as a free agent. You can come here as a free agent all you want to.
His LeBron's contract will be. I'm almost 100% sure.
Got a 2-year
LeBron's
contract
will
extension.
be
I know.
up.
Right when he gets drafted, I know. And if he doesn't, he'll sign another 1-year contract. Although, I mean, that foot,
no,
putting a damper in plans.
Oh yeah. So this year, and then next year, he has a player option. Let me tell you, if Bronny doesn't make it to the Lakers, he will not be taking that option. Not a chance.
But hey, man, you talk about money now. We talk about the Hawks, man. The wrestlers, you know, they like that bread. They like that guap. Rich people don't stay rich by being nice.
We're never going to get close enough to it. Never.
I'm not giving up anybody.
Never.
Russ, I'm not giving up anybody to sign LeBron at 41.
I've been faithfully lusting after Ashanti my entire life. I would love, but I just know I'm never going to get close enough to book this one. Just like we are never going to.
I know where you were going with that.
We're never. The Hawks to Bronny James is me to Ashanti. Sure, is it possible in the world of worlds? Yes. Is it probable? Hell no, my boy. Not gonna happen.
Look, man.
But if y'all see me with Ashanti, don't say
nothing. And if you have the 17th pick, what's to keep you from trading up to get Bronny if you're LA? I'm sure there's somebody that you'll have that you could trade for the 17th pick to draft Bronny.
Anthony Davis, you can get the hell on, bro. We will trade you. You already street clothes junior. You barely play. We will figure something out. We would love to get rid of your cap space. Bronny is too valuable as an asset, as a financial injection into your team. You have to know. This means you get LeBron's retirement. What does that also mean? That means you get all of LeBron's rich, famous friends who have to see him play his final games. You're not letting that go by.
And if you don't think that you're also not getting one of these restaurants that LeBron owns to be put in State Farm Arena, plus Clutch Sports doing all of this, like they're going to be LeBron doesn't just negotiate a contract. There's apparel. There's all of these other things that he gets in his contract. So all of that definitely could be added. If I'm the Lakers, like you said, if that's such an injection, and the Lakers are one of the few, maybe the final really family-owned.
They're not letting the Lakers get that. They're not letting them get that.
One of the final family-owned businesses or family-run organizations in the NBA, really. If they get that, that's a bag for them. That's a hell of a bag. That's a hell of a story. But it would be great if he went to Cleveland. Cleveland is the better story.
And all they need is a small forward.
And he'd be good. Darius Garland, hey, bro. They already got you on the trading block.
Who?
They already got you on the trading block.
Jettison, boy, you be gone. You be dead in a year, Kid Ray. I don't care where you play. You won't be here.
Hey, man, we got to keep you up with the WNBA news. Oh, go ahead.
And I definitely think specifically on the heels of what Messi and the MLS done and LeBron's, hunt to be the most elite basketball player of all time. I understand that there are rules and regulations that stop him from doing that type of stuff. But if you don't think that he's taking some of that and say, oh, well, wherever I go, this won't be a team trade. This will be a family partnership. You are sadly mistaken. James gang gonna get there and they cut different type of deals.
Oh, I forgot. Summer League started. Summer League is on since we're talking about basketball
already.
Yeah, the California Classic. I'm watching Brandon Miller and Charlotte versus the Spurs without Victor Wembanyama. He's not playing until
Vegas.
Vegas.
Watching the Spurs.
I'm watching Brandon Miller. Oh, you see, you ain't watching the Spurs. WNBA news. Let's get real quick. Asia Boston. No, that is not her name. Her name is Asia Wilson.
It's another woman who I'm madly in love with. We are not finna. Not gonna do this.
No, Michael Bridges. So, Asia Wilson has signed a 2-year contract extension with the Las Vegas Aces.
I follow all rules, laws, and regulations, sir. Hands up. Do not shoot.
She told you don't shoot. That boy got. That was a showdown. Bow! Shot that man down. If you don't know what we're talking about, just Google Michael Bridges. Michael is spelled the way it sounds. Mikell. Bridges and Asia Wilson. And that's a funny little. You shouldn't try to holler at people over social media. Because
I don't think that I honestly don't think that was a holler. I think that Mikal Bridges is actually a big fan of the WNBA. Him and Sabrina, I can't pronounce her last name. They have like this thing going on. She does this 3-point thing and all of this. So like a lot of these guys are legitimate WNBA fans because the WNBA is an excellent product. I hate that everybody doesn't know that, but yes, whatever you want to say. I don't know what that hand gesture means.
You're sending out a lot of bail, brother. Her response was, "Hey, please stop contacting me. I'm good over here. Thanks." That's response doesn't mean that response.
I might have violated from that. You ain't got to do that to me. And let's be very real. We have friends in common. There's no need for that. And
yeah.
I'm a polite person, but there's a little evil down in my soul. If I'm being nice, I think it is you're obligated to be nice too, or I'm gonna be mean, and then we all gonna be mad.
So Asia Wilson,
I mean you.
Also played another. I hate the name of their mascot. Played another Gamecock alum in Aaliyah Boston, who is on her way to being. She's on her way to being Rookie of the Year. She's already been voted an All-Star.
No Fat Joe. I really like. Nah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not wild. You'll be the clip that put that all over there. You're not finna Fat Joe me. You crazy as hell.
Oh man, but they played against each other. It was actually a really, really good game. Hey man, Aaliyah Boston is for real. She's 6'5", and she's like, I don't know the women's equivalent of 300, but she's 6'5", like 250, and she be moving people out the way, Sade. And she has good touch around the rim. She's really she reminds me a little bit of Joker. She just doesn't pass
very
as well.
Like she's legit. She is a killer. She is a rookie all-star. This is she is a complete basketball player, and I know Dawn Staley is probably somewhere sitting there in her massive home with her massive TV watching her players play and loving every moment of it. Congratulations to South Carolina. Congratulations to Asia. Congratulations to Aaliyah. And, of course, congratulations to our favorite coach, Dawn.
What I like about the WNBA is now the NBA or the entire conglomerate that's behind the two leagues, is focusing on is giving more WNBA content. Talked about Asia Wilson, right? The thing about the NBA that makes the NBA pretty cool is that it's very personable. Basketball in general is a personable sport because you can see their faces. There's only 10 of them on the court at a time. There's only 15 of them on the team. There's only 30 teams, right? Where football, there's 2,500 players or whatever it is. In basketball, there's only like 150, right? So, I'm sorry, 350, 400 players. So,
400 players.
So, with Asia Wilson, they've done stuff like Uninterrupted, which is owned by LeBron, correct? Yes.
Don't give me the line.
Uninterrupted is LeBron because he got that fire hat. So Asia Wilson was playing around on the bench. She said, "Oh, coach is coming." Remember, the funny thing about these players is you realize they're still only like 24, 23, 24 years old. Like, and she be turned up though, down there in Vegas. Las Vegas is an entire, and they had a bug on She is 6'6", y'all. This big 6'6" woman is tired, is scared of a bug. Shawty. From South Carolina. You from the country.
Oh, that don't mean nothing. You know how many you know how many 6'6" men are scared of moths? Oh, don't get that bug on me. People be scary. Size do not matter. You put a moth on a lot of people, they finna act real different.
He said a
but
moth.
This is the type of stuff that we need. This is how you grow a fan base. This is how you kind of create this relationship with a star, an athlete, as a fan, where you feel like you know this person on a personal level. Shout out to ESPNW, the uninterrupted. I mean, excuse me, the uninterrupted. Gotta make sure I say that right. But just these type of avenues to give these female athletes an opportunity to show who they really are, because you don't really get the same level of exposure. I mean,
you don't.
And hopefully they get podcasts and stuff like that at the same rate, so we can learn out a little bit more. Walking about this, I was not gonna let this segment go by without saying Ryan Howard had 43 points last night.
43.
And we beat the ass. Like that. We sure did. The Atlanta Dream. We 7-8. We turning things around. And we not
Ryan Howard is nice.
Trucks no more.
Yeah, Ryan Howard is nice. Hey man, so there's stories that I like to call. I call this stories that the gift that keeps on giving. Stories that keep on giving. Y'all know we've been talking about Zion and face tattoo shawty. Now we talking about Karl Anthony Towns, who has been obviously off of his meds. Remember, Karl Anthony Towns said by the time he finishes, he's going to change the game. I don't know how, but now on his left ring finger, he said in GQ, I don't know how he got a GQ, whatever. Hey, shout out to your publicist. He said, "I'm saving this finger for a championship."
Wait, that's just like Voyage ATL, man. You know the rapper.
So
that's
he said,
not a shot at anybody who has a Voyage ATL interview.
Yes,
but we know that is not a real interview, bro.
that is a, you write your own. But so what it was he was doing the interview and they asked him about his girlfriend, and he said, "I'm saving this ring for a championship," which was like you double shot yourself in the face. But why I wanted to say this and why I brought this up is because he also the Minnesota Timberwolves just gave Anthony Edwards 5 years, $260 million. Why did you turn off your camera, dog? Why did you turn off your camera?
I can't respect that. I have to make a statement here. Karl Anthony Towns, you're never gonna play for a championship. You can give that the hell up. Let me come back. I'm back. I'm mad. This is back to me and Ashanti, bro. I'm closer to Ashanti than you are to a basketball championship, my friend. Let me make it very loud and clear. There are no odds expecting you and Rudy to do shit next year. Not a chance. So you telling me what? It must be dope. And please do not let Patrick Beverly continue to gas you up for good clips. Shout out to the Pat Bev pod. It is actually a pretty good podcast, and I think because he's a master manipulator of people like Karl Anthony Towns to get them to say anything. But this is crazy. You've been better off cutting that finger off than saving it for a championship.
So let me ask you this. Karl Anthony Edwards just signed 6 years, $250. Rudy Gobert is making 200.
He's out of there. You get to the end of your question where I can tell you that he's the first man voted off the island.
Minnesota has released a statement saying that they plan on running this back. But again, we've seen front offices release statements. Jordan Poole, for example, they said, "Hey, we just signed a 4-year contract. We'd love to have him here." And they traded him the next day. So if they get rid of somebody, Karl Anthony Towns has to be the person. Where does he end up? I've seen Portland for Dame. I've seen Atlanta for Capella. I've seen New York.
I'm out. You're an engineer. You're very good at math. Now, if I tell you that we are already close to the luxury tax and Clint Capella gets paid $20 million and Carl Anthony Towns gets paid $50 million and Trey gets paid $50 million, how do you make this work?
I mean, it wouldn't just be Capella. It'd be, I'm sure, what's his name? DeAndre Hunter and probably somebody else.
I mean, well, we don't got that many people. you gonna trade him a whole team?
But that's my question. Where does he end up? Where does he end up if he's traded? Where does he end up? Where do you trade him to?
Hell. Trade him to hell. The bad part about this is that market for that position is drying up very fast.
And you've been cooked.
And with the new CBA where he is going to eat up a ton of your money, I don't want Carl Anthony Towns because he doesn't play defense. And he ain't tough.
It's tight, man. So
most teams in the NBA, like the team that would have been the team to look for him was probably the Spurs. They got Wemby. Good on Carl Anthony Towns. Don't even come over here and eat up the money that we're not spending. I don't want to spend it on you.
You need to go to Charlotte. There you go.
Charlotte continues to draft bigs every year. They not dealing with him, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't either.
They just signed LaMelo.
Do you really
LaMelo
want
needs
Anthony
another.
Towns on your team?
No, I'm just saying LaMelo needs a running mate. LaMelo just signed 5 years, 260, so he needs a running mate.
And they just got your boy Brandon from Alabama. They just committed to $260 million for LaMelo. I'm definitely not about to commit to $350 billion trillion for him. Hell no, it's only but so much money.
They would trade Brandon Miller for Karl Anthony Towns. They would do that. And Minnesota would take that. You put Brandon Miller at the 4, we'll go Bear at the 5.
Hey, Charlotte,
and
if
Edwards
you're
at the
dumb
2,
enough
3.
to do that, then good luck and Godspeed. You deserve whatever you get.
Hey, man. Sixers fan, shout out to Kev. We know you tuned in, bro. What do you do with Tobias Harris? He said, casual Sixers fans, they'll trade me for a crumble cookie. But where are you going to find a 6'9" power forward that can shoot the 3 and can score, et cetera, and guard the other team's best player?
Hey. This is one thing that we cover a lot on this podcast. We call it situational awareness. You have to be aware of the things in front of you, beside you, and behind you. This is not the casual Sixers fan that would trade you for a crumble cookie. You're right. The casual fan will probably trade you for a crumble cookie. But even the most intent and diehard Sixers fan will trade you for a cheesecake from Ishka Bibbles. You can get the hell on. Nobody wants you, Tobias. You get paid like you're good, but you are mediocre. That's not a problem. But for the money that you get paid, your average salary is $36 million. You know what your salary should be? About $23 million. You are one person and a half. You don't play that good. You've never been an all-star. Are you crazy as hell? But I also told y'all that this John Collins contract will look better and better as the year goes by. Tell me that you would rather have Tobias at $36 million or John Collins at $25 million. Which one you want?
I mean, Tobias Harris, the reason people would trade him is because he makes $36 million.
Exactly. He's not a bad player.
As our resident Philadelphia fan said, if you put him at $25 million instead of 36, everybody and their mama is trying to sign him, trade for him, and keep him. But it's $36 to $37 million that he's making. And also, I will shoot Tobias some bail because he's right. He's 6'9". He can shoot. They all a little mentally fragile over there. I ain't gonna put that on just him, but they are a little mentally fragile over there in Philly. But he's 6'9". He can shoot. He can guard the 1 through the 4. I think he also was used wrong. Like he was kind of used, kind of like John Collins was used, and it was like, okay, throw him in the corner. He only has to shoot threes, or we put him on the post with 5 seconds left in the shot clock after Harden and Embiid have dribbled the ball out. Like, so I think he needs a change of scenery. I think he's a older
Toronto.
version, a more mature version of Kyle Kuzma, and I think that he could be somewhere. If if there were a way that we could get a cheaper contract, I wouldn't mind him starting for the Hawks. But I can't pay him
So
$37 million.
now that you say that you bring up Kyle Kuzma, because that's a fantastic. That was actually where I was going to go next. If you're Philly, do you trade Tobias for Kuzma?
I would, yeah, I would. I don't know. Depending on, I mean, Kuzma wants to be the number 2, right? So if you trade Tobias for Kuzma, you probably, I mean, they're not getting James Harden back, so I don't know who their 1 is.
But you have the trade off. You have
I would
Kyle
do it.
Kuzma,
Yes, I would do it.
who's a worse player, but on a better contract, but a longer contract. His contract is
Yeah,
starting.
I mean, depending on how they use him. Now, but if you're Philly, you're in the same problem though, because Kyle Kuzma ain't no spot up shooter, and that's really what they need at the 4. You need Embiid down low. You need somebody to
But you
run
save
pick
$10
and roll
million,
off of.
but you're signed, but now he's on your team for the next 4 years versus Tobias, who, let me pull up his contract, but I think that
I
his
think it
contract is expiring in the
expiring
next.
contract. Yep.
Yeah, he's an expiring. So but it's a $39 million expiring. It's 40 beans.
It went up to 39. That's right. It was escalating.
Yep. So do you want him at? Do you just struggle through the year at $40 million, or do you sign yourself up to the next 4 years of Kyle Kuzma? Like I see trade offs on both. I don't think that Kuz is a bad player. I think that the real thing with him is his next contract. But he's also 31 years old, so
You get probably a 4-year, $100 million contract. You get a Draymond contract.
the Dre Measy. That's gonna be, and let me as I will consider myself well versed. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell y'all that I'm a contract expert now. But one thing that I talk about people who don't have a podcast on basketball and football and sports in general. The average now starting salary for a basketball player in the NBA is somewhere between 22 to 28 million. That is going to be about the price of all of your guys 1 through 6. Once you approach the 30 million plus, you are now an elite basketball player, and anything above 35 and above, you're like all-star, superstar, the most elite level of basketball players. So I want, because I see a lot of times people see these contract numbers and they're like, wait, why are these people getting paid this much? Specifically, like Dylan Brooks, who got 4 years,
Yeah,
$80 million. That's about, now I think it's a little bit of an overpay, but for the most part, that's what starters cost now, $20 million. And if you're not going to spend $20 million, then just go ahead and know you're going to get a guy on consignment. But I will say, those consignment guys are going to have a longer shelf life. If you get this $36 million contract now in the NBA, expect to play for certain teams. The teams that I'm speaking of, I think, are going to be Toronto, who I think is going to be a part of a rebuild soon. You're going to play for the Wizards. I think that's going to be a team that's going to be a rebuild soon. But if you're the third guy, you have to make a fair assessment of who you are and say, I'm probably gonna get traded.
Yeah,
Especially if anything upwards of like 28 million. Y'all not winning enough games.
Yeah, road, I think and we'll end this Tobias Harris thing here. I think because his contract is expiring, I think you'll see him, if he stays now, you'll see a mid-season trade where he'll go somewhere, especially unless he's just balling out with the Sixers. I think you'll see a trade near the start of the season.
Do you take Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson for him?
I would. Hell yeah. Yeah, but why would Miami do that? Because it's expiring and you could still sign Dame? You think no. Because, well, Portland doesn't want Hero. So Hero would have to go to Philly. Hero's at $100 and something million, ain't he? He signed that extension 4 years, 110, 5 years, 110, something like that. 120.
It better be 5. It can't be 4. I'm not these and especially as you have so many people like Tyler Hero who are basically one side of the ball only players.
Yeah, 4 years, 120. He's at 30 million.
Lord Jesus.
So I
When
mean,
you
you
start
saving
looking at
9
me,
million, but you committing to 120 million over the next 4 years. So your big
I'm
three
telling you right
is
now.
your big three. At that point, 4 years, $30 million, like you said, you're in the big three territory. Pause if necessary. So it's
Fired
Joel
ass.
Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, who they decided not to negotiate a contract with, which I don't understand what the damn 76ers are doing. Why would you not do that? They just gave LaMelo 5 years, 260 because they're scared. Mind you, LaMelo been hurt for the last 2 years, but they're scared that he's going to come out here
He
and
already hit that
ball.
all-star. Already hit the all-star kicker. All the guys who got all-stars, that's your money. That 260 contract don't matter. You're not leaving our team. Anthony Edwards got it. DeMontis Sabonis got it. LaMelo got it. As soon as but the issue that you have is if Maxey is an all-star this year. I think there's a low chance for that. But if he gets it, now he's in the 260 category, and you're done at that point.
Is it
You
all-star or all-NBA? I thought it was all-NBA. All-NBA is the kicker.
All NBA or an all-star.
Oh, my God.
You get any of those, then
Is that
immediately
Keegan?
at
Why
that
are they playing
point,
Keegan Murray in summer?
you go into
summer
that.
league?
If you said what?
They're playing Keegan Murray in summer league. Sacramento.
I mean,
And he just dunked on all the Warriors summer league team.
I don't hate that. He's a rookie. He could go back again. He had a good season, but
Man, you take him out, right? He just dunked on everybody on the first play of the game.
yeah.
But anyway, Tobias Harris, man,
but yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Tyler Hero has a poison pill contract. This is too much. This is an old CBA contract. There is no way that you're telling me that you will have Tyler Hero at $27 million. You won't have John Collins at $25 million. I'm sure, right?
John Collins versus who?
It just
Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero can create his
Hero.
own shot. Tyler Hero is basically Anthony Simons. So I don't know what you're gonna do.
Hell no.
They're the same player.
Anthony Simons can run the point. He's a 1.
Anthony Simons is a 2, and they definitely they're similar players. They're a bucket. They're scorers, but I don't know if I'm paying Tyler Hero 130 to be. I don't know if he's capable of being a number 2. So I don't know if he goes to Philadelphia. I don't know.
This is a pre-CBA contract. He needs to understand they're going to move him. He is getting the hell out of
He does
Miami.
understand. He pulled the Miami stuff off all the social media. You know, in this day and age, that's how you get a message. You clear your social media of all your organizations, and that's what he did.
I think they already told him, bro. You got to understand. You're the third guy, and we just competed for a championship without you at $27 million. Find the door. We're gonna find some more undrafted guys. We're gonna copy and paste this team. We're gonna run it back, bro. You are out of here at 27 million next year. 29 million, 31 million, 33 million. Hell no. No. Not gonna happen. And if you get that $30 million, you better be an all-star.
It's tight. It's tight on all of
it
them.
ain't.
I mean, they get their money.
Let me tell you this. We will be reporting soon and very soon on Tyler Hero playing for a different team.
But Miami's window at this point is pretty much, to me, Dame or that's it. Like, there's really nobody else that they can really go get that could put them over the top, in my opinion. That's available.
Because they don't have any assets.
Unless you want to go get James Harden, but you'd still have to give up 2, and that means you want James and Jimmy. I don't know. But James, I mean, that's a good look. Now, Philly, that's a good look for Philly, too, because you get 2 shooters back.
And some picks.
But you'd have to give up Tobias. You'd have to, because they already signed James Harden, so they have to trade Tobias somewhere. At that point, I trade him for a second-round pick. I don't care. Well, you have to give up you have to pay somebody to take him, I guess is what I'm saying. But
That's the reason I think he's another candidate to be a Washington Wizard. Anybody who's making a ton of money, and this is no
Chicago
offense,
Bull.
but if you
Oh,
the Wizards and the Wizards, this is the thing. I'm making jokes about the Wizards, but the Wizards are putting together a little piece of a team. They got Gafford, they got Kuzma, they got Poole. You put Tobias in there in the middle, and all they're doing is saying, "I will like it." It's always going to be a team that's in the market to buy bad contracts. I will buy your bad contract at the expense of a first round pick or two. So yeah, go ahead, give me this guy that you don't want, so you can be competitive now. It's just going to cost you a couple picks.
if I'm Miami, Chicago is right at the point of rebuild. There's a couple players that I
know
would.
it too.
They are. If I'm a couple players, there's a couple players on Chicago I go after. DeMar DeRozan would fit really well with Miami, Jimmy, and Bam. It's kind of crazy. I don't know
That
if they
definitely
could.
makes Jimmy Butler your 4, though. That's tough.
That makes Jimmy Butler your 3. DeMar is your 2. DeMar would be your 2. Or you could still get Zach LaVine, and that would be your 2. Because they need scoring. They got defense. Jimmy and Bam gonna handle the defense. But they just lost all those undrafted free agent players to the Lakers and to the Cavs and to all of them.
I feel like DeMar ain't cheap. Now them guys. Now you talking about guys who are you talking about money now.
I mean, Tyler Hero would be in the trade.
That ain't. Now DeMar is on an expiring at $28 million. If you could move Fat Lowry, but I mean, you have. I mean, it's kind of the same thing that the Golden State did with Jordan Poole, where I will take Chris Paul on this expiring because it gets me out of a bad contract. That Tyler Hero contract is a bad contract. The Duncan Robinson contract is a bad contract. You got to find a way to sell that contract to somebody else.
Yep. But, I mean, hey, shout out to their agents. Their agents got them that contract. It is what it is. Speaking of agents, shout out to
Rich
LeBron.
Ball.
Shout out to his whole crew. He has turned Rich Paul has turned himself into...
We don't call him Rich Paul no more. His name is Rich Ball.
He is the premier agent in the league. He has gotten $450 million for his clients in the last 72 hours, including Fred VanVleet, 3 years, 130, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, to name a few. I believe Dylan Brooks is a clutch sports guy, as well as Trae Young from last year. This is just this year.
Correct.
So there's a whole lot of money that they're getting.
Go back. Now, I do want y'all to understand that he's also Danny Ainge. You look at these contracts, Fred VanVleet max, that's an overpay. Jeremy Grant, 5 years, 160, that's an overpay. Draymond Green, 4 years, $100 million, that's an overpay. I want you to understand, and I think the teams are probably already here.
I don't know if Draymond's an overpay. You just said the starting salary now is going to be $22 to $28 million. You're getting him for 25.
He's at the tail end of his career. That's not pause worthy. He is rich and he is balling. Rich ball, like I said.
Not rich balls.
Correct. But yeah, you have to understand as soon as you walk into the room with him, you're about to get hustled. So go ahead and prepare for it. Nope, not gonna make that off color comment. But yes, just be prepared to take an L. It is what it is on that, and that's all it's gonna be.
I knew exactly what you was about to say.
That Jeremy Grant contract is god awful.
5 years.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
160.
That's
31. That's $32 million a year.
And that's another guy who will be playing where? In Washington. They've already said that they made that contract before they knew that Dame was going asked to be out. They're going to offload that contract. He is immediately
who? That's cool for you to say. Who's going to take that contract? 5 years, 160?
Ask me. once I saw Ben Simmons get traded, anybody trade anything, they traded him, and he has never. He don't do nothing but put on cool
You
outfits
could
and go
trade
to
Ben
the game.
Simmons for Jeremy Grant right now, and he could go to.
No. I rather as bad as that contract is, I'd rather have that bad contract than a guy who is
Ben Simmons
never
has
going to play.
two or three more years, and I think Jeremy Grant has 5 years.
I
I,
I think that I mean you're right, but you're right.
and
You got to pay
with
Ben
him with
Simmons
Michael
30.
Bridges and Cam Johnson, but that's too many wings.
Yeah,
Ooh, Ben Simmons'
absolutely.
contract
I
he's
think
only
that
got 2 years. Ben Simmons made
Ben
$40 million.
Simmons is stuck this year for sure. It's gonna be tough to get some. You're gonna have to give up. You have to move heaven and earth for somebody to take basically $77 million for Ben Simmons.
I'm
You're
looking
gonna
at
have
it
to give
now
up
over here.
everything. So what you do is you just struggle through this year, and then next year you trade him for a first or something like that, and just get him off your books early. And then by then you're paying Bridges, you're paying Cam Johnson. I would be interested in paying Nick Claxton. I like him a lot. And then you go after your guards. This year, if Brooklyn is smart, you take this year to get these guys to get comfortable playing together, and then next year you make your run. This also, I mean, you know me, I'm a person who says you trade Ben Simmons next year, and then you try to get DeJounte Murray. I think that DeJounte Murray is the final piece to this Brooklyn team, and I feel like that puts him in a very, very scary situation with Mikal Bridges, a good defender who can guard basically the 1 through 4.
DeJounte Murray is in an
Cam,
interesting situation because his
yeah, for everybody except for the Hawks.
no, I'm saying because some of these contracts this year pretty much say like Fred VanVleet's contract. If DeJounte Murray has a good play this year, you have to pay him. You know, what is 3
That's
years?
why he's out.
130.
That's why we're going to trade him.
3 years, 130. So that's what, $40 million, $42 million. Kyrie got 42. Fred VanVleet got 43. If DeJounte Murray beats out either one of these dudes, or it's like all NBA or whatever, you have to pay him 40 something, $40 million.
He doesn't even have to do that. He just has, like, he's going to play the secondary role to Trey this year. If he has another season where he averages 7 assists playing off the ball, then yes. If I'm Brooklyn, give me that guy. If you're telling me he can average 7 assists off the ball, then he can average 10 assists with the ball in his hand all the time. No, there's no doubt in my mind about it. And if you're telling me that you're telling me that DeJounte Murray can give me 20 points, 10 assists, and then get me another 100 steals.
You know the
with a
answer
team
to
full
this
of guys
though,
who
right?
plays defense.
You know the answer. The where he really should go. If Atlanta, we're here now. We're an Atlanta team. We're Atlanta sports-based podcast. If you're DeJounte Murray and you're the Hawks, I know you don't want to do a deal with the evil empire, but it matches for both teams. DeJounte Murray sign and trade for Jalen Brown. So then you bring him to the 2. You take the Boston still needs a point guard. DeJounte Murray becomes that point guard. He plays defense just as well as Marcus Smart. He's better offensively than Marcus Smart. He can create a lot better. We need a 2. Somebody that can create their own shot. I don't think Trey and DeJounte work together. If you're going to pay that money, and you already have Jaylen Brown under contract at that point, that's where you make the trade, unless you do it now, expiring. But that's where you make that's the trade you make, to me. The money matches, the fit matches, pause if necessary.
No.
It works.
No, I'm going to tell you why not. Because DeJounte is going to get like that one. He is a $100 million player. Whatever it is one something. Jaylen Brown is a 2-something.
Give it somebody else. I mean, it's.
You'll probably have to throw Hunter in there too.
No, they would take a big.
We ain't gonna have no bigs.
Not to give them. Not to give him. But I mean that's where it worked. That's where you go. Maybe bogey or something like that. That's where you go. But speaking of somebody that got their money, I don't think he's with Clutch Sports, but I could be mistaken. But Dylan Brooks, now, he has his fair share.
He ain't with Clutch Sports. Not the way he was talking to Bron. You
He's-
think you would have talked to your boss like that?
He has had his fair share of criticism. I think Memphis did him dirty. The way that they
Mike George of One Legacy Sports.
they pinned basically the entire season and mess up on him against losing against the Lakers. I think that was dirty. I think they basically drew a line in the sand and had to pick between Ja and Dylan Brooks, and of course you pick Ja, and Dylan Brooks is the scapegoat. So now, and of course he had a loss of confidence too. But don't y'all forget that Dylan Brooks was still before this year. They were like, yo, y'all gotta pay him. Before this year, they were like, yo, y'all gotta pay him.
People forget he was all team defense this year. Dylan Brooks got a raw. So this is what you have. This is what I consider a PR mismanagement. You had Ja Morant, who got into real trouble 2 times. Memphis, who fosters this type of culture and environment of grindhouse, physical, all of these things that Dylan Brooks exemplifies. He hasn't gotten in trouble off the court. He's a guy who you paying him like $5 million. Like Dylan Brooks, I always said he was going to get picked up because he wasn't getting paid a ton of money. Somebody would, at minimum, they would pay him about what they were paying him last year to play. Phoenix, he was right there. There are a bunch of teams. But Memphis tried to make him the scapegoat because he had some antics on the court. He's playing above his head. Too. This Dylan Brooks is not the first, second, third, or fourth best person on this team. It's that simple. They tried to blame it on him for all of this because Ja was tripping. You try to take the spotlight off of your guy, which is the right thing to do if you're trying to manage public relations. But in the process, you shat on it. I appreciate JJ Redick for being very transparent about saying, what do you like? No, he's still a very good basketball player. He does what damn near nobody else in the NBA wants to do, plays defense.
And Houston, you said Washington is putting together a team. Houston, even though they spinning out the wazoo, is putting together a little bit of a team. Now, you got Dylan Brooks. You got Dylan Brooks for $20 million a year. We just said $20 million is the baseline contract for non-veteran minimum players now with the new salary and CBA and all of that stuff, because you have to spend 90% of your salary. You really, now that we talk about the CBA, you got to spend 90% of your salary, but you cannot spend more than 100% of your salary. So you really, there's no more, which is why it's so frustrating with the Hawks. There really should be no more hiring your son to be vice president of basketball operations. It really should be more Travis Schlenks that specialize in this, because you now have to have an NBA roster within 10 to 20% of your money. That's very difficult to do and put out a winning product. The Rockets are positioned perfectly for this. Got a lot of young players, got a lot of assets, and now they had a lot of money. What?
I've been trying to warn people. Just like I told y'all last year, hey, you probably need to pay attention to OKC. They're putting together something down there. These guys are all the same height. They can all dribble, shoot, pass. Watch them. They did what I expected them to. The Rockets, I said, hey, man, as soon as they get Udoka is coming here on a warpath. I know he believes that he got fucked by the Celtics and that Missoula took.
There's a joke there.
I'm going to leave that alone. As soon as I said it, I thought about it, and I said I could have probably chosen my words a little bit better. But you've given him money. You've given him basically the wherewithal to put together whatever he wants to as far as the team. And you see they went after Fred VanVleet. I do think that they already moved Kenyon Martin Jr., he gone. I think Kevin Porter Jr., you probably the next guy to be moved. Now, I do think that he's on an excellent contract, so that's definitely a player that I would be interested in. But the Rockets are about to make a run at this thing. It is very reasonable that their worst player could be Jabari Smith, who was the second pick in last year's draft.
Yeah, because they got Jalen Green, which, hey man, we don't kink
Jalen,
shame.
no.
We don't
Fred
kink
Van
shame.
Fleet, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, or Cam Whitmore, who dropped in the draft. You put Jabari Smith at the 4, and then you have the Turkish sensation Alperen Sengun. I've been trying to tell people the Rockets gonna get it, and if you not paying attention, it's gonna happen right in front of your face, and you're not gonna see it.
Rockets or OKC? Before we get to Fred Van Fleet and Drake's heartfelt.
Bad and worse. If you catch these young kids on a night, they finna make it bad on you. That's the reason.
Who finishes with the better record
this year? OKC. OKC, those guys have been playing together, and remember, they're still adding Chet. Y'all forgot.
Y'all forgot about Chet, dog. I was like, yo, they said Chet gained 25 pounds of muscle.
No,
he
they
still
said,
look.
No. They said he gained 13 pounds, and I immediately put. So you mean he gained 1 pound per month over the 12 months he did not play?
Yeah, but I mean,
that is
that's yeah, it is. That's something. Hey man, he was super skinny. But
yeah,
I mean, he's also gonna be playing.
And you know that if they're weighing him at his absolute heaviest, bro. If you wake, me and you know more than anybody. You wake up skinny, weigh him first thing in the morning. Don't let him eat. Don't let him drink no water. Let me see him first thing in the morning and see if he's still 12 pounds heavy.
If I'm OKC, I do regret losing Bobo. Because Chet, Bobo, and Pokashevsky, and Josh Giddey, and all that 6'8" to 7'3" type, that's your whole team.
I'm not convinced that Orlando is rocking with Bobo, so I think there's an opportunity for somebody to have another chance at Bobo.
Yeah. Fred Van Fleet, Drake posted the interesting message called Fred Van Fleet, his lookalike. My love is forever. Thank you for your character and your kind. You know, Drake thinks he's Masai Ujiri. Like he's the spokesperson for the Raptors, which he's positioned himself to be. He's positioned himself to be. He said
they all know him, don't
everything.
They know the boy
with everything on the Guangdong Dragons. I mean the Rockets. Fred Van Fleet said, "Relax." So Fred Van Fleet got 3 years. Was it 3 years? 130,
140, whatever it is. Let me tell you right now. Hey, Drizzy, Aubrey, Drake, whatever the boy, whatever it is. Let me tell you right now.
130.
Y'all are the Dragons. That team is in disarray. Y'all want to keep everybody, and y'all still not good. Y'all got to figure out what you're gonna do with Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and OG Anunoby, and now you have Dennis Schroeder as your starting point guard. I'm gonna tell you right now. What do you think? You just got worse. No offense, y'all know I love Schroeder, but that ain't it. So
I don't know what they're gonna do. But Van Fleet, like you said, Houston is down there making money, man. Hey, real quick, Kyrie Irving got $42 million a year, 3 years, $126 million contract. Kyrie Irving's agent, Shetellia Riley Irving, will become the first black woman to negotiate and complete an NBA contract. And yes, that is his stepmother. Shout out to Kyrie Irving. Shout out to Michelle.
I was confused. Irving. I was like, wait, what? I saw that name.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So he did that. So in the midst of Kyrie Irving doing all of the stuff that he did in Brooklyn, one of the things he did when he was in the league and he started getting these second and third contracts, he fired his agent and he hired his stepmother to be his agent. And he's been getting big contracts ever since.
Well, that's always been my thing is once you get to a certain level, there's no longer really a need for an agent. Hey, this guy got paid this much, I got paid this much. You know that I'm better than him. Now I might be worse than him. You better find this avenue to find where my money is at.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so I mean,
I'm
we always
happy for her,
highlight
and
black
that's
excellence.
excellent to have a black woman who negotiated and completed the NBA contract. We need more of these. I think that we had the first all top 10 picks were by
I
black
was about to say,
agents.
we had the top 10 picks were all represented by black agencies. We have, if you cross over to NFL, Jalen Hurts got all that money from his agent. He's run by all women, all female, basically brand management, all the way from
Yeah.
negotiating contracts to putting together to publishing and everything. So, hey man, and being somebody that's trying to start a business in business, it's a thing to be able to trust somebody that's going to manage your funds. There's nobody more that you could trust than your a loved one, your mother, most of the time your mother, stepmother, especially your mother, stepmother, for a dude.
You know what old double guns Jay Prince say all the time? Do good business.
Yep. Hey man, so the new number
black people say
three.
it come in threes.
The new number 3 in Phoenix is Bradley Beal. They tried it with Trevor Ariza. They tried it with Kelly Oubre. They tried it with Chris Paul. Now they're going to try the number 3 with Bradley Beal. They got a little piece of a team over there now. They just signed Aaron Gordon. Eric Gordon, not Aaron. Eric Gordon.
I was about to say, not Aaron Gordon. Whoa.
Nah, Aaron ain't leaving Denver.
Now.
He ain't leaving Denver. They signed a couple players. So they actually have, I think, 13 players on their team now.
They have Matt Ishbia has done magic with that team. They got Watanabe that was a net that played with KD. I do think that they are leaning on their previous experience with players and who they are acquiring. I think that they're putting people around them that these players are comfortable with, like, and know very well, who they're familiar with. I do have to give them kudos though, because I mean we joked about it a couple of days ago. They had 5 players on the roster. They've gone from 5 to 13
with no money.
I think that now if I'm a free agent and I'm kind of at the end and I might have a little bit of tread left on the tire, considering the team that you put together, I might be interested in trying to stop by and see what you guys got. I'm surprised that Robin Lopez went to the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, I do understand, once again, being with your twin brother, but this has been another excellent opportunity for you to go to the Suns and stand in the center and block shots.
I think you have the similar. You have just as. Think about the West and the East. The Bucks can make a run and go right back and go back to the finals next year.
I keep forgetting that DeAndre Ayton is on this team.
I don't know how he's on this team. I don't know how he's on this team.
Would you be willing to trade DeAndre Ayton for James Wiseman?
If I'm Detroit, yeah.
If you're Phoenix,
yes.
So
I'm
both
surprised.
teams say
I'm
yes.
surprised Phoenix hasn't traded for Capella. I'm surprised that they haven't tried.
We're not doing that because that puts us into the tax.
Yeah. But I mean,
but what I'm saying is Wiseman at like a $9 million is a $12 million club option, and then he's a restricted free agent like 15 next year. That gets you like 8.5 the price. I think that, from what I saw in him in Detroit last year, I think that he can be a good enough rim protector. And you could trading Wiseman allows you to buy another player, another $10-15 million player.
Yeah. Yeah, but
oh no, that's not gonna happen. Monty Williams is in Detroit. He's not going back to Detroit. My bad. They hate each other.
Yeah, Ayton's kind of it's still 4 years, 133, but he's kind of stuck. Like Toronto is a place that you go.
Speaking of stuck, can we get to your boy?
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the story. We talk about stories that keep on giving. Adult film star.
Oh, he was giving.
It took all of me not to say this joke. Film star Mariah Mills posts positive pregnancy test amidst drama with NBA Zion Williamson. Now, And she says she fears for her life, fears for her safety. If anything happens to me, it's on you because you have this girl's family threatening me. I let you. Okay. And
Oh,
then,
these
of
are all
course,
old tweets. But
old
we
tweets
back.
about
We back to
spitting.
mouth spitting.
Back
No
to
matter
mouth
what, it
spitting.
seems like every week we get mouth spitting.
Let me tell you a fun thing. As you, I'm gonna give you a word of advice. Don't show you're crazy before you show the pregnancy test. Show the pregnancy test first, and then say, "Hey, you got me pregnant too," and then go crazy. Because now you just showing the pregnancy test. That could, if I'm Zion, I'm like, you got to prove it to me. Prove to me that you pregnant. That ain't proof.
She's gonna have to
You
prove
just
it
crazy.
anyway. She's gonna have to prove it anyway. And let me tell you this: he was making all the shots off the court. He was not missing off the court, but on the court, he was missing in action. I hope
bigger basket.
I feel conflicted because you don't want to be like, I hope this woman, the man that she believes is the father of her child, is not. But if she is pregnant, boy, this is bad. I have been saying that they should have traded you because you just never play basketball. If you managed to get two
sex workers,
influencers, I was trying to find a polite way to say it.
That is a polite way. They fought for that. They fought for sex worker is a respectable profession now.
With this said, boy, hey man, it's tight, bro. No pun intended.
No, it's not.
Hey man, you got it. Once again, if there is a teachable moment or something that we can leave you with, is hey, watch the mouth you spit in.
Yep. Try not to say this joke. Oh, I don't want to say this joke.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna save Reggie from who? Reggie. Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you guys for rocking with us on this Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow is 4th of July. If y'all want to celebrate,
what was it? Monday night? What?
See, this is the thing. That had gone down. It is no reason for you to rise that back like a phoenix.
Woo! There's another joke there too. There's
no. Stop. Just take that down and let's close out the show. Thank these wonderful.
Oh, there's a joke there. Zion took it down already. I mean, I could listen. Zion,
you
have got to put up you got to put up a net, bro. You got to put up a net. You got to put up something. Hey man, go old school. Get the plastic wrap. Like, hey, do something, bro.
Hey, yes, 48 pack this week. Not Plan B, but this is music. Thank you guys for rocking with us for the last couple hours. If we touched all of sports, there's a joke there.
Zion,
what you got for us, Reg?
I ain't got nothing. I am shooting blanks over here.
Neither does he. We've been podcasting too long. We just put it by the rim, bro. I got it.
But ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 110 of the Splashcast. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Happy other Independence Day. Tomorrow, man, we'll have some stuff out. Also, got a special surprise for y'all coming.
Independence Day for us.
We were still dependent. Like
we worked on that day. We worked. Yeah. We worked on that.
And I'm still mad that I still took some work calls on Juneteenth and the white people took off. I don't care. That is offensive to me. I don't care. It is what it is. But we've come to the end of the Splashcast, episode 110. We appreciate y'all. We got a surprise for y'all coming next Saturday. No Saturday morning live, but we will have a surprise for y'all, hopefully. So y'all tune in. Appreciate y'all. Remember, always go to the website. Norwood, if we ain't missed anything, take us out.
Thank you once again. We are your HBCU homeboys. I am Norwood. This is my co-host Reggie. Without you guys, none of this is possible. Thank you for the support. Of course, do support the website www.splashcast.com. Go to the link in my bio. Go to the link in his bio. Or we all know you guys follow the Splashcast on Instagram, Twitter, wherever it is. Go into that bio. There's a link is there for everything there. With that said, number one, specifically with the All-Star Braves, more black baseball. It's hot outside, so also more black beaches. Number
More
two,
black beaches.
more black cowboys and cowgirls. And number three, the one that matters the
Inspiration.
absolute most. The historical black college and university you went to, your cousin went to, your auntie went to, the person that you cool with at church, send some money over there. And I really mean that. Specifically like Tennessee State. They got a hockey team now.
And ain't no affirmative action, so support the black colleges, all you people that try to down us. Yeah.
We have to be affirmative, and we have to be actionable for our HBCUs because nobody else is gonna do it. And clearly nobody else wants to educate you. Number two, the historically black college and university in your neighborhood. Once again, this is more important than ever before. It is literally right around the corner. Send some money over there. Spend some money with those people. Go buy some merchandise. Go buy a ticket. Whatever you can. Be physically and financially present for these HBCUs. It is immensely important. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. We asking for just $18.68 on behalf of the Splashcast so we can support also Hampton. Tell us where we can get these lacrosse jerseys. We need them. It is important. With that said, thank you guys for rocking with us. Adios, mi amigos, arrivederci, God is love. And until we see you again, y'all be safe. We out of here, man.
You slipping on your pimping. There's only one thing left to do, and what is that?
Hang on!
Y'all stay safe, man. Love y'all. See y'all next Sunday, man. Peace out. Next Monday. Peace out.
This is the Splashcast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition, Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's a Splashcast 24, 12, or 36 pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com and, of course, via Instagram at thesplashcast.
She kept her last name, but took his wedding ring. That's a sign is you high blind. Well, know in due time, a twist of lemon lime in my water, that'll do me fine. Sliding, downtown riding, between the high rises, I probably buy one. The common areas got marble columns. She on the snow silent, she spending dough wildin', envious hoes watching. She flossing more watches, she know they ain't got them. She let them tricks cop 'em, come through shit poppin'. But that sucker ass nigga, she ain't have to rob 'em, she ain't have to fuck 'em, but she still got 'em.
It's like a movie scene, back-to-back machines, bitch Japanese, hoes coming threes. Drop the top on the spider, we got a lot to see. Product of the dope gang, smell the aroma from the keys.